shit, is that thing today? Hi everyone, welcome to Ludlam on the Road. I'm Billy from Ludlam Island Brewery, and I'll be your guide as we introduce you to local businesses and people that we've met in the 5 years of operating a brewery at the Jersey Shore. Today, we'll be showing you a new oyster farm located right here in Sea Isle City, and we'll be heading over to the Deauville Inn in Strathmere. Where the hell Strathmere? We'll touch on that later. But right now, we're outside of Phil's Famous Pizzeria. They're closed for this season, but this is where my story of the Deauville started. It was here that I learned the pizza trade, and I worked for the Cardamone family for 15 years. I not only worked here, but I lived here in the apartments right next door. And when I turned 21, there was one place you wanted to go, and that was the Deauville Inn for their Tuesday night wing nights. And this was your ticket there. The wing night mug got you $1 drafts and no cover charge all summer long. And it's actually how I got to the Deauville. I'd get off work, grab my mug, come out in the street, and I would hold the mug out. And every single time I got a ride. Oh, car's coming, heads up.
Yo, are you going to the Deauville?
Oh my God, it still works. So, where the hell is Strathmere? Before we tackle that, let me tell you a story. The Deauville used to sell t-shirts that said, "Where the hell is Strathmere?" Well, I was attending Kutztown University at the time with my buddy Blair Hinkle. We stole the idea, made "Where the hell is Kutztown" shirts, and sold them door to door at the dorms. That's how I bought my first mountain bike. Blair Hinkle is how I met Chuck Gaiman. We'll meet him later. So, Strathmere. Strathmere is a little barrier island attached to the north side of Sea Isle City. Maybe tiny barrier island is better. It's only 1.7 miles long, and true story, you couldn't land a space shuttle here. That's how small it is. At its widest point, it's only a couple blocks, so really a small community. And it's only one of 5 places in the entire state that has free beach access, if you can find parking. The Deauville was originally known as the Whalen Hotel and was built in 1887. It was a stop on the Reading Railroad, and the train stopped there 6 times a day. I can imagine a train coming through Strathmere. It had a long and sordid history throughout Prohibition, with articles involving underground casinos and bootlegging. You can read up about it on the internet. It's super cool if you're a history buff. Well, as you can imagine, on a small peninsula located on Courses Inlet, it's pretty exposed to the elements, and the storm of 62, known as the High 5 storm or the Ash Wednesday storm, wreaked havoc on the building and stood in disrepair until Walter and Gloria Carpenter took the task of rehabbing the old building, and they were the stewards of the Deauville for an incredible 40 years. Wanting to take a step back, the Carpenter family turned ownership of the Deauville over to Dr. Tim Fox, whose mission is to breathe some fresh life into the Deauville and write the next chapter. And I can't wait to show you what he's done. Extensive renovations to both the bar area and the entire dining room, the Deauville is now ultra chic while maintaining that beach vibe feel. The entire team here at the Deauville has been training hard to ensure that they're up to the task of delivering world-class service to match this world-class environment. Here's Adam, the general manager now.
Hey guys, welcome to the Deauville.
So, Adam,
Awesome.
tell me a little bit about Tim and the passion that he's brought here to the Deauville.
Well, I mean, Tim is he's a eccentric character, to say the least. You know, he's a local guy. He grew up in this area. He's been coming to the Deauville for years and years. You know, one of his favorite spots is the bar right over there. So, you know, when he had the opportunity to buy the place late last year, you know, he kind of jumped at the opportunity. He knew that there was a lot of work that needed to be done here. You know, it's been around since 1880. So it's, you know, it's seen its fair share of wear and tear, and you know, he saw this vision of building it into, you know, kind of what it used to be in the heyday. And so, you know, over the last year, we've taken the place from, you know, where it was, you know, to a much different place now with a new menu, new facility, and just a new energy, all around. And all of that really comes from him, and his vision of what he wants this place to become.
Yeah, so we can really see Tim's vision kind of coming together, and I guess he saw you as part of that vision. How did Tim get you to move you and your family from Las Vegas to Strathmere, New Jersey?
Well, it's taken some time, when he did, purchase the venue, he was looking for some assistance to turn it around. His specialty, he's obviously a doctor, his practice is very busy, so he didn't have the time to put in to the venue. So he reached out to myself and my company, which is a consulting firm that we ran out of Vegas. And so he, brought us out here. We spent the last year with Tim, on site, basically overseeing the renovations, training the staff, getting it to where it is today.
Sure.
And then, when that contract basically came to an end, he and I had formed a nice union over the course of the year. So it was just it kind of worked out where he offered me a job to come out and run the place. And, being from originally a Midwest guy who moved out west, and I was in Vegas for 15 years, it seemed like just a crazy opportunity to, experience the East Coast. The island is awesome.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful place. So, me and the family were excited for the change. And, this place is awesome. So we're excited to be a part of it.
So you fired up for the event next Thursday?
I'm super fired up. Yeah. We're very excited to be part of this with you guys and with the Ludlam Bay Oyster guys. We've tried to push local products here as much as possible. We've brought in, the majority of our beers are local beers, as you're well aware. And we just started bringing on the oysters from Ludlam Bay, and people just love them. So I think it's going to be a really awesome event. We're excited to have it, and thanks for coming.
Great, yeah. Thanks for having us. We're really fired up. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's going to be an awesome event.
Cool.
But are you ready to get in the back with TJ?
I want to see TJ whip up some food. Let's do this. Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Cool.
Did you bring the oysters?
The oysters. I'll be back. Like
Got
2
it.
seconds.
Okay.
Hey guys, now we're on our way to see the guys at Ludlam Bay Oyster Company, located in Sea City. I think they're going to be pulling up to the dock any second now. So back to Blair Hinkle, who made the Where the Hell's Kutztown shirts with me. I met him at orientation in college, and he introduced me to Chuck Gaiman from Ludlam Bay Oyster Company. They were best friends, thick as thieves, and we hung out a lot. And oddly enough, Blair and Chuck both worked at the Deauville all through high school and college, so it was pretty cool. Chuck was also a lifeguard, and he started Ludlam Bay Oyster Company with his friends Dusty Larrix and John Martin. They shared just the love of fishing, love of the boats, love being outside on the water, and they put it all together, and they started Ludlam Bay Oyster Company. So we're pulling up any second now. Let's get those oysters for TJ. Hey guys, what's going on? Hi everyone, sitting here with two of the three gentlemen from Ludlam Bay Oyster Company. Chuck Gaiman, that's John Martin in the background, working hard. Chuck?
How you doing?
Oysters, huh?
Oysters.
How'd that come about?
It's a long story we're not even all that sure of, but the easiest way to say is that the three of us fish together, play around on the bay together. We like oysters, started to talk about oyster farming, started to dig into the process of getting all the permits and leases that required, and 4 short years later we've got the farm up and running, and we have oysters that are ready for harvest and in the beer.
Yeah, pretty cool. I know a few things about hurdles of licensing. So why don't you step us through the process? Like, how do you farm an oyster?
There's several different growing methods. You could have oysters floating on the surface, oysters down on the bottom. We have ours floating in floating racks. We buy oyster seed, which are baby 2 to 3 millimeter oysters.
Really?
Yeah.
And they call them seed.
They call them seed.
Hence the farming.
Hence the farm. We put them on there, and basically keep, as they grow, we keep spreading them out from each other. So, and that's the bulk of the labor, is keeping them spread out, keeping them in new containers so that they can feed from the water.
Great. So how do you decide which oyster to go with?
Well, they're all the same oysters, all the same species, Crassostrea virginica.
All the oysters that you...
All the oysters. Now, well, there are other varieties, other species that are eaten. Most of what you get on the East Coast, at least, is going to be that species. So they're all the same exact species, but they take on different flavors depending on where they're grown.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And that, like a terroir?
Well, actually, in the wine industry, they have terroir for the grapes, but there's merroir for the oysters.
Get out.
Yeah.
Merroir.
With MER from C.
Very cool.
MER, so.
Awesome. Well, I've had these and they're amazing. Everyone I've talked to loves them, so we're really excited to use them in the beer.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, we're looking forward to it.
I'm jealous of very few people, but this is cool. Being out in the water like this. So what do you guys got going on the rest of the day?
Well, we're gonna get these bagged up, ready for sale, and but don't you need to be back to Deauville?
Ooh. Oh man, I gotta go. Okay. I need oysters. Okay. All right, cool. Let's do this. Jay, what's up, my man?
Hey, Billy.
How are
How's
you,
it
buddy?
going? Great. Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, man. You ready to go?
Yeah. Where's the beer?
Seriously.
What, did you forget the beer? Shut up. What, you forgot the beer? Did you really forget the beer?
Yes, I forgot the beer. So we're sitting here now with Joey from Ludlam Island Brewery. He's our head brewer here, and we are drinking the new oyster stout made with Ludlam Bay Oyster Company's delicious oysters right here in Ludlam Bay. And so, Joey, what do you think about the beer? How do you like it?
Well, I think it's fantastic, as always, almost. And that sounds like I'm bragging, but I'm really trying not to. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. For being, there's a very low bitterness in this beer, but I think there's this mineral character that comes out from the oyster shells themselves that I really enjoy. It really helps to balance. It's not a sweet beer at all, but it kind of keeps you coming back for more and keeps it really interesting.
I definitely get that mineral flavor at the back end, like that brininess that we talked about even before we brewed the beer. I can definitely taste it. Very exciting, yeah. What did you think about Ludlam Bay's oysters? How'd you like
Loved them. Fantastic.
We had a huge spread, and we just really went to town on, I don't know how many, at least
We definitely picked out
3-4
a little
dozen.
bit. Yeah.
I had my full of oysters that day. So, Joey, cheers, and thank you
Cheers.
again.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Got the beers, bro.
It's about time. All right. Well, let's get started, man.
Get started, bro. Let's do this. So we're here with TJ. He's the executive chef here at the Deauville Inn. And TJ, smoked oyster chowder. Tell us what we're doing here.
All right, so this is not your traditional style chowder. So pairing it with the Ludlam Bay's the stout oyster stout. I really wanted to do something a little bit special. Not just chowder like into a bowl. So what I basically did is I took the Ludlam oysters that we get from local, about half a mile here from the Ludlam Bay Oyster Co. And I smoked them in their shell, real slow on low heat. So it doesn't really cook the oyster too much. It stays nice and plump. And all that smoke infuses into it, and the brine kind of soaks into like the oyster. So you just get this awesome like smoky sweetness, but also the saltiness as well too. So for the chowder, instead of doing like a diced potato in there, I took red bliss mash, right, and then I just kind of spoon this on there. And what this does is kind of gives you a little bit of a different creamy texture with the chowder. And then I'm going to take one of my smoked oysters, kind of put that right on there. A few other smoked oysters for garnish. And then we have our little bit of our sofrito of bacon, hardons, vegetables, and we just kind of spread that around there. It's nice smokiness, sweetness from like the vegetables. And then where the oyster stout comes in is the broth right here. So we do use some oysters and also clams in there cooked, cream, milk, a little bit of vegetables, and then of course we use the oyster stout. And then we'll just pour this right over top. And then we have the smoked oyster chowder.
Man, that looks amazing, TJ. It looks beautiful.
Right there.
Any oyster
Thank you.
crackers?
Huh? I got plenty of oyster crackers.
Awesome, man. Thank you. So the rare bit. We're gonna move on to that.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So TJ, I have to admit, when you mentioned you were going to use the beer in a rare bit, I had to look it up and read what it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Most people really don't know like that term, but it's basically like the ultimate pub dish. It's kind of has its the origins in the UK Welsh, but it's made. It's basically like a Welsh cheese spread, and with stout, it's paired perfectly. So you basically do it like you would do a Mornay sauce. You do your roux, and instead of using milk, use the stout, and that flavor of the sweetness and the caramelization and the depth really is what makes the dish. And then we add some nice Vermont sharp cheddar in there, and then it makes this great thick paste, which you kind of see right here. And then that gets evenly spread right onto the bread, and then I'm going to broil it, and you just serve it nice and bubbly. But like for me, with a nice stout, oyster stout, and the cheese bread, there's a pairing like no other, basically.
Awesome. No, I'm really excited to try it. After
Yeah.
reading about it, it sounded like the perfect combination.
It is.
Cool. Thanks for spending some time with us at Ludlam On The Road. Look for future episodes coming up soon. Thanks to the guys at Ludlam Bay Oyster Company. Thanks to everybody at the Deauville. We had a great day today. It was a lot of fun. And I'm going to dive into this smoked oyster chowder. Cannot wait. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm still recording.
I know.
The mashed potatoes.
Thanks to the crew, too. That was great.
That is really